G'day guys, and welcome to the Ultimate Pec Pump Program. Today we are going to be going through everything you need to know so you can get the most out of this absolute ripping workout. So sit back, relax and enjoy, and here come the tips and the tricks. Boom. So our first exercise for today is the incline supinated presses. The idea behind these two exercises is in order to take the pec muscle through its full range of movement. When we do this, we are going to open up our chest, we're going to get bigger and better contractions, and on top of that, we're going to prime it so that we are ready and raring for our bench presses to come and all our other heavy lifts. So, an incline supinated press, the first, or part A, or the first exercise of the two, what we are looking to do is to create a stretch at the bottom. So grabbing a hold of our dumbbells, we're going to press it up as we normally would. Now in this position, what I'm looking to do is pull my shoulder blades back and down towards my backside and put my feet as far as I can, to provided I'm on my toes, towards the midline of my body. From here, with my heels, as you can see them jumping up and down, I'm going to push down. This will create an even bigger arch and allow me to shuffle down even further towards my backside. From here, what I'm looking to do is create a stretch to the chest. So we're going to come down and we're going to rotate down to this position here. This will take us into a full stretch of the pectoral muscle, and then we can come back up and press. We're going to do 10 of these. So 1, 2, and 10. This will give us a big stretch. Now this, because we are taking it so far past our range of movement, we actually open up our shoulders for a bit of injury. When we come down from this position here, you can see that my shoulder wants to roll forward. This is why we want to keep our arch in our back and our shoulder blades pinned down. We want to create that stretch without that roll forward. Once we have finished our 10, we're going to move straight back into the next component, which is the contraction phase. So here we are at a stretch, chest up, shoulder blades back and down, and our heels pushing towards the ground. We're pressing up 10, 1, 10. Once we have finished our 10, what I'm looking for you guys to do now is get into the contraction phase. So we're going to come back down into a normal press, but then we're going to rotate up and squeeze our pecs together as hard as we can. So up, rotate, squeeze. This is the contraction phase. This is all about trying to flush that blood through to the pec muscle in order to really gain, gain a good pump. This will prime our pec and take it through the full range of motion that we're after in order for it to be ready, locked and primed for the bench presses to come. Okay, so exercise number 2 is the big compound movement that is going to give us great strength, great size, and potentially some good endurance depending on how you want to use it, but it is none other than the bench press. I'm going to run you through the minor points of the bench press in order to engage the most amount of pectoral muscle and hopefully take out your shoulders and your triceps from the game. So let's set up. Right, we're in under the bench. Now the first point of call I want you to do is slide your way so the barbell is in line just where your pecs roughly insert into your ribs. From this position, I want you to grab a hold of the bar and put your thumb, a thumb width out from where the knurl goes smooth, or from the rough stuff to the smooth part. From here, I want you to actually bend your knuckles and take it out even further. So we're going to go a thumb and a knuckle, one thumb, then a knuckle. Or you can take your pinky and run it along where the bench press marks are on most barbells. From here, we're actually going to plant our feet and plant our toes on the ground. These are not to move now. From here, we're going to hold ourselves up, suspend ourselves, and slide our way back and down. I am looking to achieve my shoulder blades pinned and pulling them down towards my back pockets, just like our supinated dumbbell presses. So I'm pulling my shoulder blades back and down and pushing my heels towards the ground.
I actually want to try and engage a little bit of lats here in order to get my chest up even higher. And how I'm doing that is I'm using my pinkies and my hands to push down just like I would a dumbbell pullover and engage my lats. From here, I am going to pull my hands apart before I do this and press up. Now, the tension will be created through your pecs by pulling your hands apart. Most barbells have a line in the middle. I want you to think that this bar is 2 bars connected in the middle. And you're going to go thumb and hands width out, chest up nice and tall, up. And then when the bars are up, as you're coming down, I want you to think that you're pulling this bar apart as if you're going to separate the 2 bars and create the 2 bars independently from one another. So shoulder blades back and down, pulling the bar apart. This creates the tension through your chest. Then it's just a nice slow control and a fast press. 1. Nice slow control and then a fast press 2. When we control that descent, we are most strongest in our muscle on the eccentric portion. So this will give us a good gauge as to how we are traveling along in the press and if the weight is too much or too little, dependent upon the amount of weight we can lower. As we come up, we want a nice sharp fast press up, and that is exactly how I want you to stay. Now, there is an acronym that I want you to think about, which is incorporated in a saying, and it is step by step, rep by rep. The acronym, or you may or may not have heard, that you want your last rep to look exactly like your first rep. Now, when we do this, it's exactly what we're aiming to achieve, is that after, oh God, get it all set up. After your 8th or 10th rep, what can happen is we can start to sink, we can start to breathe out. So you find a lot of people will come down here and go, right? And they lose all that, their chest. You can see when I breathe out, I concave, and then our shoulders and our triceps start to take over. So our first rep must look exactly like our last rep. We want to take a big deep breath in and keep that chest up nice and tall, press. Hands pulling apart, press. And once we start to lose this, if we've lost our feet, if we've lost our chest, we rack it up and we put it down. So that is our rep by rep. Now, our step by step is an acronym that I want you to start thinking about. Our acronym stands for stabilization, tension, execution, then we track performance. Without the first 3, you can't track the last one. S is stabilization. We are trying to stabilize our shoulder blades by pulling them back and down. That keeps them nice and locked and secure. That way then it is only our pectoral muscles that are making the movement primarily, and then our shoulders and our triceps will come in as our secondary workers. T, tension. By pulling the bar apart, we create the tension exactly where we want it. Without mechanical tension, you cannot grow the muscle that you're targeting. So we must pull the bar apart to create the tension. E, execution. Again, rep by rep. We want that our same execution process for our last rep as we do our first rep. And then finally, we track our performance. How much weight you lifting, bruh? How many reps you doing, bruh? Okay? All right. So that's our second exercise. Let's move into exercise number 3. 18. So exercise number 3, and we're going to move into a superset of a dumbbell incline fly and a dumbbell incline press. A few little tricks and tips I want you to understand when it comes to a fly. A lot of people think that a fly is a concentric movement when most of your work is done in the eccentric phase. So I want you to start switching your thought process around this exercise into now the lowering phase and then a quick sort of pop up. So let's get into position. Again, shoulder blades back and down, pressing up nice and tall, feet underneath our backside, pushing our heels towards the ground. From this position, I want us to concentrate and control the negative phase. Open up that chest nice and wide. You'll feel a stretch, come into the middle. 1. Feel that stretch. 2. Now to take it a little bit more advanced and get a bigger contraction, you can see that when I'm with my hands straight up and down, that my chest tends to sort of lose its tension around this mark here. What I want you to start doing is slowly letting the weight out, coming up, and as you come up, roll and take your pinkies to one another, just like we did with those incline supinated presses earlier in the program. So we're going to come down, stretch out nice and tall, pop, and pinkies together. Slow down, pop, pinkies together. And that's our incline fly. As soon as you have finished your 10, we're going to move straight into an incline press. With the incline press, what I want you to do is take your hands into a 45, chest up nice and tall, again, heels pointing towards the ground, shoulder blades back and down. We're going to then move straight into a normal press. Aim to take the dumbbells to your armpits, chest up nice and tall. Again, when we breathe, hold your breath or take a big deep breath in. Expand your chest, keep your chest up nice and tall, press, don't cave, don't drop your lower back. As soon as that happens, it means we have lost our shape and our form. Ideally, these are working exercises, so with our supinated presses, they're very much about getting blood through to the muscle. After the compound and after our supinated presses, this is a working exercise, so I want you to aim for about an 80% of your max load. When we are doing the flies, that's the predominant exercise. The dumbbell presses, if you're making your reps, then potentially you could increase the weight of the fly. And if you're surpassing your reps with the presses, then maybe increase the weight again. So yeah, that's exercise number 3. Exercise number 4. Okay guys, our fourth and final exercise for today is the seated hammer strength press with added bands. Now the reason why we put our machines at the end of our workout is because by now fatigue is starting to set in and our stabilizing / rotator cuff muscles are starting to give way. So we want to take away the risk of injury by putting us into a position whereby you just follow the natural line of whatever this machine allows you to go, which takes away the risk of injury because our stabilizers don't have to work as hard with the free weights. However, that doesn't mean, and it also allows us to gain the most amount still that's left in our major muscle that we're trying to attack. So this exercise sets up exactly the same way as our previous exercises, with our feet and our feet sitting underneath our midline of our body, our heels pressing towards the ground, our shoulder blades back and down. The reason why we have added these bands is that we want to create as much tension on the muscle as possible, so that we're going to take away the lockout phase. Most people can lock out here and hold it here, but you can see these bands want to pull me back down and into position, into our start position here. So that tension is a lot greater all the way through the range of motion. So again, with this exercise, we're looking to pull our shoulder blades back and down, chest up nice and tall. You can see at the end of our program wording, it has negatives. What a negative is working the eccentric portion of the exercise now. So our concentric is the press phase, so the coming up, probably what people refer to as the hard part, but really the eccentric should be just as hard, and the eccentric is the lowering phase. It's this point here. So what you're going to do is you're going to push out as many as you can on the concentric, and then at the end of the concentric phase, you're going to get your partner to help lift up, and then you're going to slowly, at about a 5 to 10 second count, bring it down. Then press up again, bring it down. And it'll be at this point that your chest will be completely and utterly cooked. So guys, I hope you have enjoyed the Ultimate Pec program. Let me know what you think, and also pass it on to your mates. And yeah, hopefully you enjoy it and get a huge pump through your pecs. Take it easy, guys.